We're going to talk about bead shapes today. Here's just a few samples of the different shapes you can make for your beads. When we're doing any shape, I always start with a round ball. And I found that if you get all of these lines and lumps and bumps out of your clay first, you're going to be a lot happier in the long run. If you get all the lines out when you're making your first round ball, then no matter what shape you turn it into, you won't be dealing with all those different cracks. So we're going to start by just rolling a nice round ball. Check it every few seconds, see if you're getting those lines out. You can actually put a little pressure in here. You can roll on surface if you would prefer. Just keep working it until you have a nice smooth ball. And I don't see, well, a couple more lines in there. So you want to get it basically as round as possible and looks pretty smooth. So actually in prepping, I just did our first bead shape. You can just start with the basic round ball. It can be covered with other slices, it can be used as is, or we'll start transforming. If you want to turn the round one into a square, just going to pinch both sides, 4 sides at a time really. Turn it, press some more. Obviously you can make a rectangle or a square just by whatever sides you put more pressure on. You can keep turning it over, get it pretty square, and then you can flatten it on a nice smooth surface. And there we are. We've just turned a sphere into a cube. All right, we want another shape. Let's go back to our round. And let's do a teardrop. For that, I'm gonna, instead of holding my hands parallel like this, I'm actually gonna tip the top hand and just go back and forth. And again, you can do that on a surface if you want. But you can see that my hand is tipped. And obviously, I'm only putting pressure on one end, so I'm getting a teardrop shape. All right, go back to our sphere here. And I want a triangle this time. So actually, I would do my teardrop that I just did. And just like you flatten the square, we're just going to flatten the sides there. Flatten it here. You can leave a rounded bottom, so it's more of a flat teardrop. Or if you actually want a triangle, then we're going to press all 3 sides at once. Like that. Again, anytime you can do the basic form in your hand and then just press it into the surface to get it nice and smooth. So we have more of a triangular shape there. All right. How about a disc? Guess what? We're going to start with a round, smooth sphere again. And this one, we're only going to squish it 2 directions. Like that. Obviously, the better I do my original sphere, the better my disc is going to be, but you get the idea. You can actually roll it and get more of a little barrel shape, but there we go. Basically, it's just pressing the 2 sides, so you can press it down like that. Now, let's do this little tube. Even when you're doing something like rolling a snake, I always start with that same round, smooth ball. And this time we're just going to go back and forth a little bit. Now notice I'm actually using the flatter part. I'm not rolling up here with my fingers because that's going to put all these ridges in it. So I'm actually here in the flat part of my hand. I'm just going back and forth a little bit. You can tap the ends to make it nice and squared off there. Well, flat, I guess. And a little bit more. And we have a tube. Obviously, you can make that longer, whatever you want. Now, let's turn that into this one. we're going to kind of combine things we've done. We're going to go from the round sphere into this tube and then tip one hand this way, turn it around. There's one weird looking bead. I'm gonna work on that a little bit. Anyway, you get the picture. We can just work on the two ends here. We'll pretend that that's a really nice shape like that. There we go. Obviously, this is a very quick run through, but if you're doing this for real, you'll be putting a little more time into each shape. All right, so that's that one. This is just a rounded ball again. And we're just going to slightly roll a little bit, pinch it down into a more of a oval. This shape. All right. Now these last few are kind of specialty beads. These two still start out with my sphere. But now we have a magic way of getting these two shapes. What you need is a flat surface, preferably clear, but I don't have a clear one with me. So I often use the lid to my cookie cutter tin or a peanut butter jar lid. And what you're going to do is hold this lid right over center it over your ball and keep it parallel to the surface. You don't want to tip it this time. You just want to keep it straight. And you're going to slowly rotate it and try and keep it in a consistent circle. And you get what we call a bicone. Now, that's more like this one, depending on how wide your circle is, that'll determine what shape it is. This is a real symmetrical pointy one, but you can also do ones that turn out more like a flying saucer shape, or this was done the same way, and look how different the two shapes are. They all are bicones. They all are going to have 2 points.